I'm Gary Cunningham. I'm 29 years old. I'm a student at SCAD. I have a wife and 2 kids. And, yeah, that's really all you really need to know. I mean, you're not missing much. Which is why I think it's a much more interesting question to ask, why am I here? It's a question that comes up a lot. When I was in high school, I was your typical nerd, geek, what have you. I didn't fit in. I wore clothes that didn't fit me. I was a pretty small dude. There wasn't really much confidence going on. One day though, I'm walking alone across this big field by my school. And all of a sudden, I see a ball in the air. So I caught it. And then all of a sudden, a fucking train hit me. However long later, I come to. And I'm just surrounded by all these people. I don't recognize them. Honestly, things are different colors. And I asked him what they were doing. He told me they were playing rugby. And in a moment, still to this day, I could not explain it to you. I said, can I play? Maybe it was the adrenaline or likely a concussion, but that day I became part of the rugby team. A long-awaited dream that I have had ever since I woke up on the ground. A dream that would quickly end because I immediately realized how much of a rugby player I am not. I'm small, easily frightened, and the thought of physical pain sends me into an immense amount of dread. Lucky for me, I didn't have to worry too long about this fear, because by game 3, I had gained a very important asset, a broken leg. It's not that I didn't try my best. I just don't think it was for me. And honestly, you can see where I'm coming from here. Fast forward, I'm a bit out of high school, and my options ain't looking too good. I needed a way out. One of the only options that seemed feasible was to join the military. And I was like, yeah, I'll join the Air Force. Fixing airplanes sounds like a fun time. So I call him. A couple weeks go by, and I get a phone call from a man who claims to be a recruiter who wants to talk to me about fixing airplanes. Seems fine. We meet at Starbucks. We talk about, fixing airplanes like I want to do. He tells me about benefits that I could receive, like free education, housing for as long as I'm active duty, which is just, holy shit. That all sounds great. I go and close the deal, I shake the man's hand. As I'm shaking his hand is when my dad walks in, just to, check in and see how I was doing. First thing he says is, why are you talking to a Marine? And I look at this man standing in front of me, wearing these royal blue uniforms with these golden buttons and this big old white hat on his head. And in hindsight, I was a dumbass. But he looked at me, he's like, is this not something you want to do? And I'm like, I'm kind of committed already. So I joined the Marine Corps. I go to boot camp, I become a Marine. A dream that I had ever since I learned what their uniforms looked like. A dream that would quickly end when I realized that I am not a Marine. And I don't think I ever will be. But here I was again, a small, terrified, anxious little boy going into this world of aggression and judgment and exploitation and just bad ethics. During the schooling, when it felt like I wasn't learning anything, aircrafts are, surprise, really freaking complicated. And then when I finally made it to the fleet, the sense of anxiety started to really settle in about having people's lives in your hands. So why am I here? And I always told myself, it's to get to something better. I needed an education. I needed money. I got through it. It is what it is. Shortly before I got out of the Marine Corps, I had met a woman named Jessica. She helped me through a lot of the bullshit towards the end there, when it was, at its peak. But she was not alone when I met her. She had a beautiful girl with her, but she was only 2, and her name was Vivica. And as the months went on and I navigated through this new and frightening world of being a child raiser, nothing I've ever experienced before, but I grew a real attachment to her. I still remember though, the very first time that Vivica did not call me by my name. It was in a grocery store and she was wanting some waffles. and it just came out. She called me daddy, and I about shit myself. And in those moments, it really started to hit me, why am I here? The answer always kept staring back at me. Some more years go by, we gain a new addition to the family. We welcome our boy, Sammy. He's new to this gang, and that means he don't know shit. We moved down here to Savannah because, fixing airplanes was a, real big secret. I fucking hated it. This one time in high school, when I made a music video, when I lip-synced to a Backstreet Boys song, and obviously that just meant that I had to make this my career. And then came SCAD. And also a global pandemic. So things were a bit rough for a while. And honestly though, I love it. I motherfucking lied. It's a lot of work. It's not nearly as bad as the airplanes. And I really just would like to do more editing. More of this. But the question still comes up. Why am I here? These days though, I think I know why I'm here. I just appreciate the vibe. And nothing really, I think, explains my vibe better than all these candles and the Hot Wheels Ultimate Garage.